Hello everybody and welcome back to The Sound of Drop. So let's just get right back in there. For the two of you, just this once. Upon saying that, Mom handed us each 100 yen coins. That day was a cold winter day. At the Mountain Aquarium souvenir area, the smell of construction lingered faintly in the air. There were manta and penguin stuffed animals, stationery with the logo on it, and various souvenirs. At the entrance to that souvenir stand, there were the gotcha machines containing that keychain. I don't remember all the various types, but star sand was packed in the plastic drops, and the charms were all modeled after fish at the aquarium. It was fairly typical for a gotcha, but at that time, it seemed very enticing to me. It was the same for Mari, and we gazed into the gotcha machine. Mari was the one who would usually beg our parents at this point, but neither of us had bought a souvenir and both of us said we wanted the keychains. Since Mom couldn't be completely broken, she emphasized the one-time only bit. Yay! Mari held out both hands with glee, while I probably just smiled. I remember that inside, I was just as happy. As to which of us went first, it was of course the more assertive Mari. She was always like this, a cheerful and inquisitive child. How cute, Mr. Star! Mari got a starfish charm keychain. At this point, Mari still didn't know the difference between a starfish and a star. I was next to get one. It was a pink drop with a jellyfish charm. Ah, a jellyfish. Ah, that's the one I wanted most! Mari pointed the index finger of her tiny hand, exclaiming in a loud voice. Mari was just learning how to use first person when she mentioned herself. Instead of a normal I or me, she said it slowly. Hey, big sister, trade me. No way, I want this one. Naturally, as I had already fallen in love with that design, I obstinately turned her down. Upon begging my mother for one more time, my mother, who had warned us earlier, held her purse strings tight, leaving Mari to sulk. Fine, stupid big sister. Without listening to my mother's admonishments, she ran off. Sulking after being called stupid, I naturally didn't chase her right away. My mother, being optimistic about the aquarium's small size, also waited a while to go looking for Mari. And now, all I'm left with are my regrets. If only I had gone after her sooner. If only I traded her keychain in the first place. Even so, the past is unchanging, and I am left with only my regrets to bear. So in case I could ever trade with Mari again, I've stubbornly carried around that keychain. The one with the pink droplet shape and the jellyfish charm, like a treasure. I rummaged through my bag, seeking to feel the keychain in my hand. Huh? Why? At a time like this, I had forgotten to bring it. The keychain wasn't in the bag nor in my pockets. Huh? A sigh naturally slipped out of my body. After all, I've lost sight of Mari and strayed from Himeno. Himeno has the building map, so there's nothing I can do. Huh? She says huh a lot. At that moment, a pungent aroma floats by and causes me to speak in surprise. Unable to bear the irritating stench, I pinch my nose. Still, the stench seems to twist in my nose. It's made of the smell of sewage, sulfur, and the nauseating stink of vinegar. As soon as I try to get away from the smell, something soft creeps along the bottom of my foot. As I hesitantly look down, I realize the true identity of the putrid odor. It's a corpse. I'm not sure what type, but it's as big as my arm span. The body is slowly decaying and hasn't retained its original form. Yet, by its bulging round eyes and slightly extended tail fin, I can just barely tell it was a fish. I couldn't tell right away, but it has a silhouette similar to a pirakriku. No idea what that is. I feel like I've seen those eerie glaring eyes, characteristic of a freshwater fish. I feel sick. I move my foot slowly, and a small fragment of the corpse sticks to the bottom of my shoe, on the underside of which I notice something wriggling desperately. Ugh, the maggot. The slight sound of flapping wings departs from beside my ears, and I understand that the wriggling thing is an insect. Ugh! Oh, what? Shaking chills run up my spine as if someone had pressed ice to it. I take a step back and drop my cell phone. The phone reacts with the backlight and LCD screen coming on, illuminating the dead body. The syrupy dead body absorbs the light, and the winged insect that flees to avoid it. There is also a meandering white nematode that seems not to notice. The backlight soon disappears, leaving its stench amidst the darkness. The shadows of those hideous insects are scorched into my retinas, and they sway like the light of a heat haze in the darkness. Something was creeping up from the pit of my stomach. Am I gonna throw up or not? I'm gonna throw up. I throw up everything that had welled up inside me. It doesn't all come up at once, taking 2, 3 times of convulsing to get all of the vomit out. It was disgusting. Still, even more disgusting was the fact that the insects had gathered around my vomit as if it were a feast. What in the world was happening? Why did I have to relive these memories? I can't figure out the answer to my doubts. Not at all. I covered my eyes with both hands. I couldn't have made it if I didn't. But shutting out my vision leaves my sense of smell, causing the smell of rotten water and the stench of the dead body to become more intense, so I uncover my eyes. No, what is this? This is a place for the customers. Is it really alright for this to be here? On top of that, I was in the middle of chasing Mari, wasn't I? No, that isn't the problem. It's strange enough that there is a place like this in the middle of an aquarium. Anyway, I have to get out of here. The stench is so overpowering, it's as if I can see it. I want to get out of here quickly, satisfying myself with the argument that it's a garbage dump or something, and that if only I get away, I'll be fine. At any rate, I can go back the way I came. No, that's not good. I might run into Jimeno. At this moment, I don't want to see her face. My eyes having adjusted a bit to the darkness, I search for a way out. Here, the tanks are broken, the little remaining water stinking, and the body of living things have tumbled out here and there. I think about how happy I am that I can't see. Even so, to find the exit, I'll have to look around. My nose has begun to go numb, and thanks to that, I'm somehow able to retain my sanity. Before long, I find a dim emergency light behind one of the tanks and head towards it as if it were the last hope I could cling to. I feel squishing several times beneath my feet, but I try to ignore it and move on. As I move towards the emergency light, it seems the smell is becoming faint. I get used to the scattered shards of glass and the rotting fish corpses just before I reach the door. The tip of my shoe feels as if it had kicked something hard, something different from before. Wondering what I had kicked, I casually look down. No. I get the sensation that all the blood has stopped flowing through me and that my heart has completely stopped. The round thing I kicked has patches of hair, 2 eyes, a nose with a bone to it, and a mouth. All together it is a human face. Oh god, are they gonna show us? Speaking accurately, it's a head rather than a face. It's completely lifeless and rolls away with a flopping sound when my foot touches it. Seeing the state the head is in, I begin to feel ill again despite having finally calmed down from before. Of the white cranium, only the forehead area seems to be exposed. It seems this is new and only has just begun to decay. No, for starters, there is no way a human head should be rolling around here. It's my imagination, or it has to be from some model. I haven't yet looked in the direction it was rolling. Convincing myself that it isn't a human head, it really is different, so there was no satisfying myself. I placed my hands on the door in an attempt to escape. Unable to control my shaking hands, it takes 3 tries before I can open the door. It's a heavy fire door that is usually open. Ooh, this is... I step inside with my thoughts racing, and the atmosphere changes completely once more. I can hear the sound of the door closing behind me. Inside is a very clean place. The transparent water is tinted a faint blue, and inside float fantasy-like jellyfish. Countless pillar-shaped tanks are spread around, and the water shimmers as it reflects the light of the fluorescent lamp, red and yellow, green and purple, the jellyfish bodies diffusing light like a prism. In spite of the strange space I have reached, I'm fascinated by the shimmering live art display. Himeno, I mutter without thinking. Then I quickly shake my head, erasing the image of Himeno's face that appeared in my mind. Earlier, she didn't come after me. After all, Himeno chose on her own to part ways from me. I'm sure it's because she dislikes me now. It isn't something I should worry about. Even at a quick glance, I can see that there are various types of jellyfish in the tanks. Having made efficient use of the small space, it's a charming area. It vividly expresses the starry sky as is fitting of the name Mountain Aquarium. That's because the kanji mean like heavens? Cool, huh? Compared to the earlier Fish of the World booth, this one isn't the least bit in decay. I wonder if Mari came this way. So we have 2 questions. I have going back is dangerous. I can't do anything by stopping here. Have to press on. Or I feel worried about Himeno all of a sudden. I'll go back. Honestly, I am worried about Himeno, but I do want to go forward. I don't want to go back. So I'm sure we'll run into her eventually. Going back is dangerous. I can't do anything by stopping here. I have to press on. And so I start towards the starry sky. I gaze in fascination to the right and left of me. If circumstances weren't what they are, I would have stopped and stared into each and every tank. The tanks lined up all together are beautiful enough, but each one is vivid like the night sky inlaid with jewels. Altogether, there are 7 tanks. Each one holds a different type of jellyfish, some with poison, some without, categorized by aspects such as where they live. They really are beautiful. I stop and stand in the very center, between the 3rd and 4th tanks. I wonder if the last time we came here, these tanks were here. Nakanobe Mari, my little sister. I lean my back against one of the tanks and sit down. Whenever Mari's face appears in my mind, I lose all of my strength. If anyone saw me, I'd be embarrassed. But here and now in Mountain Aquarium, there is no one around. I heave a sigh and look up at the ceiling. For some reason, a large fan is revolving there. My memories of the last time we visited Mountain Aquarium aren't all bad. It was the first time in a long time all 4 of us had gone out as a family. Mario and I got along really well, and we always held hands as we walked. We would do things like play house or read picture books aloud. Mario was a bit more of a tomboy than I, so even though I was the older sister, she was the one who gave the orders. Since it was the first time the 2 of us sisters went to the aquarium, it was natural for us to be very excited. Just as one would expect, the first time Mario and I laid eyes on the creatures of the sea, we experienced fear, awe, and a sense of being deeply moved. The creatures we saw at that time have stayed with me as vivid memories. Happy memories. I still have plenty of them. But on such a special day of all days, Mario and I ended up fighting. The rest proceeded just as I remember. Since then, my parents buy me anything I want. However, I changed as well, and I didn't really want anything anymore. Greed itself seemed to decline for me, and I never really got excited for anything. That's why when my mother bought me these boot sandals, I was happy. I was fascinated by the nostalgic ultramarine color. About 1 year after Mari disappeared, she stopped coming up in conversation. I don't know if my mother and father had accepted it as a tragic accident, or if the sadness had slowly faded, but my new normal had begun. I had become an only child. But that is nothing more than an excuse I can't escape from. Mari, you're here, right? Finally, it seems my strength has returned and I stand up. Even though I ask, no answer will come. The thudding ventilation fan in the ceiling is the only sound I can hear. It was almost at the same time I stood up. Ah! A crack appears in the glass of the tank behind me. Since the glass doesn't make any noise when it splits, I realize it's broken when water splashes on my rear end. Water continues to flow out, gradually spreading to my feet. The amount of water from the tank is more than just puddles after a heavy downpour. Along with the water flowing forth, the jellyfish that had been in the tank until just a moment ago flowed out. In order to avoid contact with the water already soaking my sandals, I stepped back from the puddles without looking away. How? Why? As if to play further with my already bewildered mind, the tank behind me also cracks. Uh-oh. Didn't you say some of those jellyfish are poisonous? This time, I hear the high-pitched noise of glass cracking. Following that, the tanks are each destroyed in turn. Oh no. Being stuck in the middle of the passage, water is closing in on me from all sides, leaving me pressed in between. The edge of the water is steadily drawing near. What should I do? The words that slide from my mouth also flow away with the water. The color of the tanks that had once been so vibrant now seem eerie to me. Among these jellyfish are poisonous ones. Even worse, some of them are fatal. On thinking that, my legs begin to shake in fear. No. But no matter how frightened I become, I know I can't sit down. As if the area I'm in is shrinking, water and jellyfish are both heading towards me, and it's impossible for me to touch the floor. Ooh, I have no choice but to run straight through, or no, I can't think of anything. We're gonna have to run through. We don't have time. I have no choice but to run straight through. I no longer have time for doubt. At a glance, the door on the opposite side is closer than the one I came through. From here, the distance isn't too far to the interior door. Running at top speed should be good enough to reach that one. I hesitate for a moment, then grit my teeth and take off running. It's no more than 10 meters. It is a distance that should pose no trouble, even for someone like me who's tested below average in physical endurance. Ugh. When I had run about 5 meters, just having passed the 6th tank, I fall full force onto my back. The floor is wet, so one might say this should have been expected. No, this is disgusting. The water soaks through my skirt and quickly soaks my underwear. The tank water is in direct contact with my skin on my rear. It is cold and wet, uncomfortable, but unavoidable. When I put my hand on the floor to try to stand up, I discover that action is a mistake. Ow! I squeeze my eyes shut at the pain that feels like I've been stabbed by a cold metal needle. No, it doesn't just feel like it. I have been stabbed by something. Have I been stung by... Shaking, I shift my line of sight to my hands. A jellyfish is covering my right hand. At that moment, I get upset that I can't feel the coldness of the water around my right hand. I got stung. What do I do? Someone... The pamphlet introducing the jellyfish had gotten up with a piece of glass from the tank. Man of war? Uh-oh. I noted his name without much of a reaction, but it has to be poisonous to be called that. There have also been incidences of fatalities. Poison? What do I do if I've been stung? Do I clean it? Is it bad if I don't clean it? I could feel my pulse quickening. I wonder if it's the poison making its way through me. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? When I try to will myself to calm down, my impatience ramps up. Someone help me. Uh-oh, getting blurry. Did we make the wrong choice? Trying to use my pulsating right hand for support to push myself up, I slide into the puddle and can't stand. It hurts. It really hurts. I put water on the area where I had been stung in an attempt to rinse it out. However, the opening of the wound stings and startles me. I need fresh water. Trying to apply pressure to the vein, I tightly grip the area where I've been stung. Dad, Mom, Jimeno, Mari. Wanting to be saved, I call it as loudly as I can. However, in reality, my voice had already grown hoarse. The corners of my eyes grow hot, and from them fall individual droplets. No, I'm going to die. My voice is no longer really a voice at all. Ugh. Before long, an electric shock runs through my right hand. The subsiding of the intense pain brings my senses back to me. But my voice will no longer come out. Even when I try to think of something, nothing happens except a sensation of pain whirling inside me that fills me to the brim. Unable to control my body, I fall to the ground. First my head, then my chest, from my stomach to my feet. Having fallen on my face, half of my body is submerged in water. My heartbeat quickens. I become acutely aware of the flow of my blood. Ugh. Unable to stand, I vomit. The very idea of being able to endure it no longer occurs to me. Even so, the poison won't be expelled from my body. My entire being becoming numb is proof that my blood has been pumping so quickly it has worn down my veins. Wanting to rinse out the remaining vomit in my mouth, I suck in water. It tastes like salt. Within my body, I'm struggling with all I have. On the outside, my shell has long exceeded the limits of its stamina. Blood is soaking through the capillaries in my eyeballs, and the puddles spreading on the floor are pierced with red. Gradually, I stop feeling my blood flow. Is it because my heart has stopped, or because my consciousness has disappeared? Either way, my consciousness stops and fades into the darkness. Within the same simplicity that a ventilation fan spews out cold air, my breath is evacuated from my body. Yeah. Oh. When I come to, I'm still gazing into the cylindrical tank, vacantly thinking nothing other than, I wonder if something's in there. I just stare into that tank. I have neither the urge to call out nor the desire to walk away, merely the sensation that my consciousness alone is floating along the rippling sea. Why on earth am I here anyway? What have I come here to do? Whether I can't remember or there was just no reason from the beginning. The jellyfish are pretty, especially this jellyfish. Its color is so bright. The voice that starts talking right in front of me catches my attention for some reason. I feel like I've heard it before somewhere. Well, who is it? I am unable to remember clearly, seeing only a wavering face that won't come into focus. Anyway, Mayu, where did she go? Mayu. That girl, she talked like she was looking for someone. Poor thing. If she's lost someone here, she probably won't find them. Wait a second. Where is this to begin with? Swaying, swaying, softly, softly. Drip, drop. The sound of drops resonating all around me. Gradually ceasing to care, my consciousness melts into the water. My form. It's a new chapter? Nope, I died. Bad end. So I became water? Alright, so we're not gonna stay there. Well, I think that's a great place to stop for now. So next time we know jellyfish room equals bad. Alright. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next part. See you later.